10 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Tuesday morning, January 22nd. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM and 90.9 HD. Also a special good morning to our viewers who are watching us this morning live on the KSJE Facebook page and YouTube channel. We have a full studio this morning and a number of guests that will be joining us over the next hour, beginning with the Bags of Love program. It is a relatively new program, and they've been around since 2014. We'll explain what they do for members of our community and how you can get involved as well. That's coming up in the first part of the program here in just a few moments on KSJE. Then this morning at 8:30, we'll switch gears just a little bit. My guests from the Echo Food Bank and Echo Incorporated, they are coming up with some ideas to help some of the federal furloughed workers in our community during the federal government shutdown. They'll explain what they are doing for workers in our community and how, again, you can get involved, or if you are impacted by the federal government shutdown, how you can take advantage of their help. That's coming up this morning at 8:30. And then, as we do every Tuesday, we'll round out the 8 o'clock hour, a visit to the Farmington Regional Animal Shelter. And if you're watching us live on Facebook or YouTube, we'll show you some of the animals available for adoption this week at the Farmington Regional Animal Shelter. That's coming up today at about 8:55. We'll turn things over at 9 a.m. to Mick Hess. He'll take us roving with the arts. Mick is playing music from the great composer Haydn, more of Haydn symphonies, Haydn Symphony 91 and 92 this morning on KSJE on Roving with the Arts. Just a quick reminder, our second chance drawing for the sold-out Chevelle Shepherd concert this Saturday at the Farmington Civic Center. You have about another day to get registered. The deadline is midnight tomorrow, and you can do that online at ksje.com/Chevelle. We have a couple of tickets that we were able to get a hold of, and we're going to give those away, but you do need to register, and you can do that at ksje.com/Chevelle, CHEVEL, for a chance to win. Well, now let me introduce my guests who are here in our very full studio this morning from the Bags of Love organization, the San Juan chapter. Joining me here in the studio is Bill Clopine. Good morning, and thank you for being here, Bill.
Good morning. Thank you, Scott, for having us.
You bet. Appreciate you being here. Also, Lillian Clopine is here as well. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning, Scott, and we most appreciate you having us.
It's good to have you all here. And also joining us this morning is Mandy Tamperillo, who is a student at San Juan College High School here, not too far away from our radio station. And Mandy, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And you're a volunteer for this group, right?
Yes, sir.
You've been working with them, so we'll talk more about that in just a moment. But Bill and Lillian, let me start with you all. As I mentioned, the organization's been around since about 2014, and so give me an idea of what Bags of Love San Juan chapter is all about. Lillian, what's your goal? What is it that you all do?
What we're doing is providing a service to children in our area, in the San Juan area, that are displaced from their homes. These children, when they're displaced, they often have to leave the home without any items of a personal nature. And so we provide them with a duffel bag that's filled with comforting and necessary items to help them in that transition during a difficult time.
Very good. And these are all items that are either donated to your organization?
Some of the items are donated, and we are happy to accept donations for items to go into the bag, but we also get monetary donations from private sources as well as from grants from foundations and from businesses in the area, and then we purchase the items to go into the bags.
Very good. And you are now, and Bill Clopine, you were telling me, a 501c3 organization, correct?
That's correct. In 2017, we became a 501c3 organization, so fully recognized by the IRS. So all donations are fully tax deductible, allowed by law, and that has really helped us kind of connect to larger corporate donations. Although about half of our donations are still the small, just people that want to help with a small donation. About half community support and about half company support.
Very good. And you brought with you one of the Bags of Love this morning, and we kind of want to show that off a little bit to our viewers who are joining us this morning through the power of the internet and video cameras and things like that, because they do have a lot of really needed things. And these are going to children who find themselves at shelters, and what's the situations where you're giving these away? Lillian?
Well, we're primarily with two agencies, CYFD and the Family Crisis Center. In both offices, they have closets that we keep supplied with a good cross-section of ages and gender-appropriate bags. In the case of CYFD, when the social worker knows that they're going to a home to take a child out for whatever reason, it's usually criminal activity or abuse or neglect. She knows the age and gender and takes the bag with her. As soon as the child is put in the car, she provides the bag for them, and that's a great distraction. We've gotten stories back from like detectives how when all these things are going on, the noise, it's usually at night, and the noise and the police are there and the adults are being handcuffed and all, which is very traumatic. This is a distraction, and these children who often don't have anything or don't get anything new or don't have anything of their own, it provides a distraction. The other is the Family Crisis Center. Those children are fleeing usually an abuse situation with a parent, and so they come from a different avenue.
Right.
And as soon as they go into the residency, they're provided with the bag as well.
Got you. And so, Bill, would you mind doing a little show and tell for us this morning?
I'd be happy to. So the items are in two categories. There's the comforting and necessary. So comforting, this particular bag that we pulled in here is designed for a girl from 11 to 13 years old.
Okay.
So we'd have a stuffed animal. We have a comforting, fleecy blanket.
You are doing your very best Vanna White for me this morning. I really appreciate it.
And actually,
Thank you,
I've done that at a few presentations
Yes.
as well for various church groups or other organizations. So I have been practicing my Vanna White.
Right.
Here we have a little tote bag that goes in here, and then this has a variety of toiletries, shampoo,
Nice.
toothbrush, toothpaste, just
Right.
everything you'd need to start over. So that kind of falls in the necessary category. And then in addition to that, we have a variety of coloring books, puzzles,
Crafts.
games, crafts,
School supplies.
Nice.
It's just everything for, you can kind of just imagine a difficult
Right.
situation where a child is displaced from their home, especially when drugs are involved. They're usually not allowed to take anything with them.
Just what they're wearing or
just
whatever,
what they're wearing,
right? And they're
that's-
leaving that house.
And that's it. And before Bags of Love, if they were allowed to take anything, it was usually in a trash sack.
Right.
And, what does that do for your self-esteem, that everything you now own fits in a trash sack?
Exactly.
So the ladies that started this wanted to really make the kids feel that they were valued and important, and it was a difficult time, but they were going to get through it, and there were people that really, really cared about them.
And these are items, brand new items, and many of these
Yes.
children probably don't have maybe brand new items. They've had hand-me-down clothes or hand-me-down toys in their
Correct.
families, and this is stuff that they can have and keep. They never have to give this stuff back.
Correct.
They
And
keep
that
this
is
forever.
that is exactly the theme. It's my very own. This is yours to keep, and we even coach the police or whoever might be handing it to them. This is your very own to keep.
Right.
It's your very own.
Which is a big difference for some of these children. Lillian, I imagine it makes a big impact, does it
Yes,
not?
and we do get occasional stories back from the social workers in the Family Crisis Center how a certain child was affected by receiving the bag. And that's an important point, Scott, that everything is new in the bag. It's not secondhand or used. We want them to feel special.
Right.
And so they get enough secondhand or used items, and so.
Very true. Let me turn to our high school student who was with us this morning. Mandy, I want to ask you a little bit about your involvement with this organization. And you've been working as a volunteer. It's part of your studies here at San Juan College High School. And so talk to me a little bit about why you chose Bags of Love.
Well, one of my friends brought in a pamphlet, and we all just thought it was really cool. So I started a little group, and now we just help them make bags and collect donations.
And so what has been your favorite thing so far about being involved with these folks?
Bringing everyone from my school into it because they just like to help. So it's nice like seeing teenagers help us as well.
Right, right. And this is part of your study, as I mentioned, right? This is something that all of the students at San Juan College High School need to pick some kind of volunteer service or giving back to the community type of a job, right?
Yeah, we have to get volunteer hours, so it helps kids get that.
Okay, very good. But it's been good so far.
Yeah, it's
You've been
been great.
enjoying it. Wonderful. And Lillian, volunteers like this really help, I would imagine, your organization,
yeah,
right?
The young people have been a wonderful addition to our group, to our membership, and they add a new life to our meetings, and they have a can-do attitude, which we really appreciate. So we really enjoy having them with us.
That's wonderful. And so you mentioned, both of you, Lillian and Bill, the groups that you work with for Bags of Love. And are you looking to expand this in the future? Or I know fundraising, you're always dependent, I guess, on the money that's coming in.
That's correct. We get no funding of any kind from the Family Crisis Center or CYFD, so we are fully funded external to them. Mm-hmm. We are every year talking to other organizations about where we might help. One of the things we want to be careful of is not overextending. We don't want the certain number of children that might come into a facility for the first half of the year to receive a bag, and then we run out of resources and we aren't able to provide for later ones, because then the later ones wouldn't feel right. So we're very careful about how we jumped into a particular organization. Last couple years, we've provided about 150 bags a year to the Farmington Family Crisis Center, and that was a big jump for us. We went from about 120 bags a year to doing about 260, 270. I think we did 282 was our final count for 2018. So at $70 to $75 per bag is generally what our total average cost is all in. So it's a big commitment to jump into another 150 bags particular area.
That's very true. And let me bring in Ron Price, who is also with us this morning. He's been kind of taking some photos and lurking around in the background, but he is no stranger to volunteer service and community support and things like that. Ron, good morning.
Good morning, Scott. Good to see you.
Thank you for being here. And so what got you involved? I understand that you learned about Bags of Love fairly recently.
Fairly recently.
Right?
I was bored, Scott. You know, I never do anything, and
yes,
just
right.
sitting around looking for something
all that
to do.
grass that grows under your feet. And but talk to me a little bit about what got you involved.
You know, and Scott, I honestly don't know if I can explain it. I just see this as such a program meeting such a need that nobody else is meeting. These kids are forgotten. They're abandoned. And again, as Bill and Lillian and Mandy said, they feel like nobody cares. And this is just a concrete way to show that they care. Ask Lillian to tell you the story about the boy who didn't want, I don't want any stuffed animal. Get her to tell you that story, would you please?
Lillian, I think you just did, Ron Price, but would you mind, Lillian, talking a little bit about this?
One of the stories we received is a young teenage boy was removed from the home, displaced from his home, given a bag, and I guess when he opened the bag, he saw the stuffed animal. He was too macho for a stuffed animal.
Right.
But later on, the employees, when they went by his room, they saw him sleeping, holding the stuffed animal. But another very similar story was a young boy or a young teenage boy whose brother had been committed suicide. And so he was displaced from his home, I think, for protection issues. And when he opened the bag and got the stuffed animal out, he just wept. And it touched a chord in him that he was then able to release all this emotion that he had been trying to suppress.
Wow. Well, making a big difference, obviously, this program in our community. And so for folks who are listening this morning and watching this morning and want to get involved, want to help, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, you certainly can contact myself. I'm Lillian Clopine. My number is 505-787-9755. Ellen Strohmeyer is our other co-director, and her phone number is 505-860-0340. If people are interested in donating items, they can take them to the Ernie Strohmeyer Orthodontics. They're on 20th Street, 2200 20th Street. They can take it to his office, and they have a storage. Ernie has been very generous in allowing us to use his basement as our storage for all of our donated items.
Okay. And some of those items, I noticed you gave me a brochure here with some of the things that are on there that you could always use. Just old fabric that can make blankets, right? Pieces of fabric?
Yes, we accept fabric for making blankets, but also any grooming items,
Right.
school supplies,
I see
games,
pens and pencils and flashcards and stuffed animals of all sizes.
books, games, toys in packaging.
The new toys in the
Right,
packaging, right?
right.
That can be for all ages because these bags are going to children of all ages, correct?
Right. We serve 0 through 17, up to
Okay.
18 years old.
Very good. Bill, did you want to add another thought about donated items?
Donated items are fantastic. One of the things that we do try to maintain just so that we can have these handy and have everything fit is they have to be small enough to fit in a bag. We've had some generous people bring us very large stuffed animals,
Right.
which are a little bit harder to maintain. But we also, of course, accept financial donations.
Yes.
Checks could be mailed to 7320 Tuscany Way in Farmington, New Mexico, 87402. Or you
And those
can,
are tax-deductible checks,
and
right?
they are absolutely 100% tax deductible. We send a recognition tax receipt and recognition note for every donation, so we really appreciate that.
Okay.
And they can make those out to bags of love? Or
And
would
they make them out to bags of love, yes.
Right.
Bags of love, San Juan chapter, or just bags of love.
Okay. Very good. And Lillian, yes?
I just wanted to add, if anyone out there listening belongs to a club or an organization or a church, we would be happy to come and do a little presentation to your group, just to make the public, our community, more aware of our presence in the community and what we do.
Sure. We hope that from you being on this program, that will be a non-issue anymore, but you can always talk to more groups. I understand
Yes.
that, so that's great.
Yes.
Absolutely. We also welcome people to come to our meetings. We have meetings about once a month.
Okay.
So the next meeting is
February the 20th.
Okay.
All of our meetings are held at the Pinion Hill Seventh-day Adventist Church. They're most generous in providing us a space to have our meetings. The meetings begin at 5:30. The Pinion Hills Adventist Church is on Foothills, just across from Lowe's, across Pinion Hills and go up to Foothills, and it's on the left-hand side. The meeting begins at 5:30 with a meal and a little bit of a social time before we begin our business meeting at 6.
Okay. Very good.
Could I just add one last thing?
Of
One of the
course.
things about our financial donations that we're very, very careful on is 100% of all donations, all donated funds that we get, go directly toward items to help the children. We put no administrative costs, no donated money goes to administrative costs for the organization. Our members and directors cover everything around postage or anything else like that. It's 100% of all donations go toward helping displaced children in our community.
That is a great point to make. I'm glad you made it. So, Bill, thank you very much. Ron Price, any final thoughts here as we get to our final moments this morning?
I've just had so much fun watching these folks talk and watching you operate that board. 3 or 4
There's a
more
lot
hands
going on, right?
3 or 4 more hands would serve you well. But
I'm
no,
part
folks,
octopus.
there's a lot of great organizations in our area. We are blessed. We're blessed to live here with people who care. They're on your show all the time. This is one more. And if this touches a nerve that, you have a heart for these kids who were abandoned, been neglected, and you want to make a difference, I can't think of a better way. So get a hold of these folks. Can we leave the phone number one more time?
Yes, we certainly
Lillian,
can. Lillian, if you wouldn't mind.
Yes, 505-787-9755 is my number, and Ellen Strohmeyer is our other co-director, 505-860-0340.
Very good. Thank you all for coming in this morning and talking
Thank you
about
for
this,
having
this
us.
great program. Bill, thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott. Really appreciate it.
You bet. Lillian, thank you very much. And Brandy, thank you. You're a great inspiration to other high school students.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming in very much, everybody. Back with more in just a moment right here on KSJE. The time is 8:30.
A haiku. Sorry, Ghostbusters, we really like crossing streams.